A lot of familiar faces, some friends, so thank you for joining me today. For those who don't know me that well, my name is Reino Erasmus. So I've got about 20 minutes to tell you something I learned over the last 35 years. I'm first and foremost an entrepreneur, but I like to call myself a technology designer. I've been fortunate enough to work on a number of exciting and meaningful projects, and I've won a number of awards, so thank you for the introduction, Michelle. But today I would like to tell you a bit about my journey, from being a little voortrekker laity to the person that you see in front of you today, speaking about himself for the very first time and not banging the mic. So I started my professional career, as Michelle mentioned, in 2012, just after I graduated with a degree in design from Nelson Mandela University. I took my best friend out at the time, Greg, for coffee for his birthday, a little ritual that we have every year. And at the coffee shop, someone left a little local business publication on the table. So we picked up this publication. I won't say which one because we thought it was quite bad. But when we flipped over the publication, there was a rate card at the back, and we thought, people are actually paying for advertising. Let's do something a bit better than this. So on that day, the soapbox started, like Michelle mentioned. So it sparked the idea to create something a bit better that featured food, fashion, art, and design in Nelson Mandela Bay. But we were very fortunate enough to outgrow the soapbox. We utilized its network to take on bigger projects and businesses. And in fact, the soapbox is one of the most critical ventures in my journey. It has exposed me to people like Michelle. We know each other from the soapbox. I just realized that. That's over a decade ago. And finally, we can do something together. So it introduced me to brilliant people that I know for over a decade, and I still call on those people when I see opportunities. So as an entrepreneur, you know, networking. But building authentic, meaningful networks, that is the key. So there is a caveat. A network can lift you to places that you can only dream of, but a network can also pull you down very, very, very quickly. And I would like to share with you one of my earliest failures. So based on the soapbox and the network that we created at the time, the Business Chamber asked us to do a coffee table book to feature businesses and people in Nelson Mandela Bay. This was right up our alley. We were so excited for this project, but it was terrible timing for us. It was just Greg and myself, and he had personal family commitments at the time. I just traveled to Taiwan to do a martial arts grading, an international martial arts grading for my black belt. Not mentioning being stuck in a rural village in Taiwan with limited connectivity. So we just couldn't deliver on the product. The Business Chamber actually called us in and cancelled the entire project with us. So that was a big knock for us as young, up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Sure, I spoke a lot. I missed actually my marks. So when the Business Chamber decided to cancel the project with us, this was right after we just received places in the top 40 under 40 for young business leaders and achievers. So how embarrassing is that? But when the shame and embarrassment faded, it actually became one of the pinnacle learning points in my career. As entrepreneurs, we need to know where our limits are. It is our jobs to think big and to take the leap and do things that others are afraid to do. But when you take the risks and you overextend yourself, it is important to be truthful, be humble, be without ego. If you make a mistake, just say, listen, I've misjudged the scope of this project. Let me help you bring this project over the line, even if it is without me. So be humble in that way. So what I actually do is actually too many things, but I primarily own two businesses in complete opposite fields. One, as Michelle mentioned, is Ampersand. It is a design consultancy that grew out of the network of the Soapbox. So the network of the Soapbox was very, very valuable for my entrepreneurial journey. And we started off with creative projects, so design, photography, website. We did branding and public art policy development. And we still do that for a number of our selected clients. The bigger portion of our business is technology design, where we develop systems and platforms. So we are doing a performance management system for municipalities like the MBDA and Buffalo City. We've developed a number of health information systems for CHI, which is the Clinton Health Access Initiative. We have developed a creative request system for Uber and Uber Eats, and also the innovation bridge portal for the CSIR. So because we've moved intensely into technology design, after I graduated with a master's degree in design from Stellenbosch, I'm pursuing a PhD in IT, as Michelle mentioned. PhD is housed in the university's special research center. It's called the Center for Community Technologies. So it looks very much in how to develop technologies that are relevant to the communities in which they need to be used. I do this under the supervision of distinguished Professor Ralph van Grienen, which is one of my primary supporters in this field. So as an entrepreneur, we know we have to diversify. Can't put all of your eggs in one basket. So to diversify and to have a creative output and a space where I can dream up new ideas as an entrepreneur, I co-founded Amsterdam. So it's called Amsterdam because I traveled to the Netherlands and I quite liked how the cafe culture is placed in the Netherlands. It's not just a place where you go for a coffee or a stroopwafel. It's a place where communities meet. It's a little community center. And they have things like this: educational talks, wine tastings, gin pairings, coffee tastings. So I really wanted to create a space, essentially a space where you can identify a sense of place for yourself, so that your place can turn into whatever it needs to be for you. Today it is this talk, tomorrow it is something else. Now I've been quite selective with the word cafe because, as you know, most of you know, I know most of you know, that in the Netherlands, a cafe is a place where you get coffees and stroopwafels. A coffee shop is where you go to smoke a zol. So this is very much not a coffee shop. Although I hear that in that corner, there's a coffee shop. Yes, indeed. A coffee shop without coffee. So as you might wonder, how do I do all of these things? It's much easier if you are not alone. I grew up with a grandmother that is very close to my heart. She was my hero. She taught me many things about myself. She distilled discipline, pride, and very importantly, self-determination in me. I carry these things and apply them every day. So when she passed on many years ago, it still fills my heart that she would smile on what is happening here today. So things like that drive me as a person. My father was an old school special forces police officer specializing in explosives, and he was part of the bomb squad. And I think he has shaped me and my brothers in ways that we are very thankful for today. With my father, there was no such thing as no. When he tells you something, you do it immediately. So as a little boy, it's quite a scary thing. But I've come to realize that as I grew up, it actually became one of my biggest strengths. When I tell myself I will do something, there's no, I will do it. After my father's passing a few years ago, my mother grew much closer to me. She not only just became my rock, but she is a mountain. You can hear my voice that just a mere mention of my mother brings emotion to me. So I can say with all honesty that there would be no Amsterdam without her. She has been our chef, our lead. She has been the mother to us all and the most Amsterdammer of us all. I'm lucky enough to have two very supportive brothers, Harry and Nikki. They have actually cooked and cleaned and served in Amsterdam, not doing anything with the food industry, but their help and support has been given in abundance and unwavering, and there's never a mere thought that they would want something in return. I'm lucky to have two brothers like that as a sibling. I have a loving and supportive partner in Bertus, whose birthday it is today. I wanted to sing happy birthday to you, you belong in the zoo, but he hates being teased, so I won't. He brings much needed calmness to me and helps me recover from the day's battle. It's unfortunate that Greg is not here. He's in Cape Town with his family, but he deserves a mention in his absence. He's a very close friend of mine. He's a Kung Fu brother and a business partner. It's at the Kung Fu school in P that we actually met 20 years ago. I would truly only be half of the entrepreneur without him. So it is with the support of these people and many others I call my friends that are here today. Thanks for joining, Nikki. That I have the courage to take the leaps that we need to take as entrepreneurs. Take on the challenges, even if those challenges are bigger than what we can perceive. But I do this because I know if I fall, I have a group of people that can catch me. So where to next? I've just returned, as Michelle mentioned, from Texas in Austin, or Austin in Texas, for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. This was truly a life-changing experience. I spent 6 weeks on a business and leadership program with 25 other young Africans from 18 countries on a business and leadership course specifically in and around Austin, which is a technology hub in Texas. And I learned a lot. I think it's going to take me a while to unpack everything that I've learned. But in our academic sessions, we had our academic director, Professor Northern. He often said, work towards being a better apple because you cannot be an orange. So what he meant by this is work towards being a better you. You cannot be somebody else. And that really stuck with me. And it's a concept that I'm really trying to apply as I grow as a person, as a business person, as an entrepreneur. Because I feel that I'm more confident now after this journey. And I work towards being authentically me when I pitch up and not trying to be someone else. Because the reality is that people can see right through that. So I think one of our key strategies as entrepreneurs is our authenticity. And in my experience, if you pitch up as yourself, you'll be in more rooms like this and know more people like this. So why? I've left the most difficult question for last. Why? Why do we do these things? Why do we take these risks? Why do we go upstream? Often financial sanity upstream as entrepreneurs. And this question is a question that you need to ask yourself. It is a question that is critical for growth. It is a question that is critical for happiness. But it is a question that takes an enormous amount of courage to answer. Your why does not have to be noble. But your why cannot be money. I can tell you this. We all as entrepreneurs start off with money as our why. But the problem is, if there's no money, you feel no purpose. So never make your why money. So your why needs to sit deep inside your soul, in my opinion. It is what wakes you up in the morning. It is what drives you. And it's also what blinds you sometimes in the right ways so that you can take the leap, that necessary step that you need to achieve something that you set your heart to. I have a very selfish why. My why is very much aimed inwards. My why is self-development. I thrive when I'm challenged. I'm excited when I have opportunities to learn, when I'm in rooms where I don't know all of the answers in a particular situation. And the quest for challenges and gaining knowledge and experience has brought me opportunities that I'm grateful for projects in business. And these are very much a byproduct of my pursuit to develop myself. Even in this moment, I'm challenging myself to grow. I'm not a public speaker. Those who know me know I hate to talk about myself. English is not my first language. You can hear I'm very much an Afrikaner. But I'm growing because as entrepreneurs, we cannot stand still. We need to move. Otherwise, we are dead in the water. So all I wanted to say with this very long personal journey, as an entrepreneur, you have to find your authentic self. It will really make the journey a lot easier. Push yourself to be a better apple. You cannot be an orange. So if you are armed with this, no challenge will be able to defeat you. Thank you.